Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Film Fans. In today's video, we are going to discuss the Hollywood actors who lost everything. Watch the video till the end. Alright, let's begin. Number 10. Michael Jackson. The king of pop was also close to foreclosure of his famous Neverland home. Large amounts of spending forced Jackson to take out loans, many of which he never repaid. Jackson's financial woes worsened once he got involved in several costly lawsuits, and interest on his debt increased. At the time of his demise, a forensic accountant estimated that Jackson owed between $400 million and $500 million. Where exactly his money went, Ackerman explained, was the interest on the debt he had incurred, along with generous expenses. She spent a lot of wealth on jewelry. Ackerman chuckled during the trial. Jackson received royalties from his music catalog every year, but that wasn't enough to keep him free of debt. The musician's extreme debt began in 1994 with $30 million owed and grew rapidly. When he died, Jackson was in debt between $400 million and $500 million. Much of Jackson's wealth, Ackerman explained, went to financing and maintaining his famous Neverland Ranch. The estate was not only Jackson's home, it also served as an amusement park for local children. Jackson was constantly at the ranch as a babysitter, throwing sleepovers and movie days with the young visitors. However, his ownership solved the financial woes, and Michael has been the most profitable dead celebrity since 2012. Number 9. Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, or Castor Troy if you're a Face Off fan, has had a significant fall from mercy in current years. Between 1996 and 2011, Mr. Cage earned a whopping $130 million from films such as Gone in 60 Seconds, $20 million in salary, Nation Treasure, $20 million in salary, Snake Eyes, $20 million. Salary, and Wind Talkers, $20 million in paychecks. He is ranked as one of the highest paid actors of all time. Rumor has it that he earned $40 million in 2009. So, what happened? Unfortunately, as their salaries increased, so did their spending habits. And he wasn't just buying good cars, although there were a lot of them. At one point, Cage purchased a 67-million-year-old dinosaur skull for $300,000 to add to his dinosaur skull collection. He bought two Bahamian islands south of Nassau for $7 million, a Lamborghini once owned by the Shah of Iran for $450,000, a $1 million Ferrari Enzo, and a Rolls-Royce, among other luxury cars. His 12-room yacht cost him $20 million. His Gulfstream private jet was no small change, and his 15 properties around the world cost at least $10 million each. Eventually, Cage was forced to foreclose several properties, and his financial manager contradicted him, costing him millions. Although the lawsuits have been resolved, Cage is still working to recover from his epic losses. Fortunately, he has starred in high-budget films recently and has sold many of his assets to help pay off his debts. Number 8. 50 Cent. Although 50 Cent, or Curtis Jackson, as it would be in court, says filing for bankruptcy in 2015 was strategic and a protective measure after he was hit in a $5 million lawsuits for posting a sex tape of his rival of rap, Ross, ex-girlfriend without his consent. We're not so sure we believe him. He said he felt he had a target on his back where people would take advantage of his wealth by suing him for no reason or using him to get money. Filing for bankruptcy was his way of preventing further attacks. While Forbes estimated his net worth at $155 million, Jackson's attorney said he only had $4.4 million in the bank when the $5 million lawsuits were filed against him. In the summer of 2016, Jackson was sentenced to pay $17 million to audio equipment company Sleek Audio and $6 million to Lastonia Leviston, Rick Ross's ex and the subject of the sex tape. Whether your failure was smoke and mirrors or not, the media have still treated it as legitimate failure and mismanagement of your earnings since your breakup in the early 2000s. Number 7. Mickey Rooney. The beloved child star has never stopped working, scoring roles in vaudeville, radio, film, television, and theater. He made 300 films in his life and made millions. However, he didn't keep the money. In addition to the expenses incurred to marry 8 times and divorce 6 times, she filed for bankruptcy in 1962 due to mismanagement of her income. Things didn't improve when he later handed his finances over to his stepson, who used the money to finance his upscale lifestyle. The Hollywood Reporter insisted in 2015 that the actor was often abused and financially drained by members of his family in the later years of his life. When he died of natural causes at the age of 93 in 2014, he only had $18,000 plus medical bills and back taxes. Once his property was liquidated, there wasn't enough for a public funeral. Number 6. Johnny Depp. With over 35 years of working credits under his belt, it's hard to believe a bigger star than Johnny Depp. Depp cultivated an artistic image with iconic films such as Edward Scissorhands and What's Eating Gilbert Grape in the early 1990s, but he had huge success with his part as Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. Franchising, Johnny Depp had a staggering $20 million per movie salary, but his film's box office earnings haven't always been compared to his star power. Forbes named Depp the highest-paid actor in Hollywood 2 years in a row in 2015 and 2016. Perhaps it's no surprise, then, that Depp had financial trouble with unnecessary spending, including $3 million to burn the journalist's ashes. Hunter S. Thompson of a Canaan spends $30,000 on wine each month, among many other luxurious activities. In 2018, Depp settled a $25 million lawsuit, claiming that his former management group mismanaged his money. He is also involved in a very public ongoing legal battle with his ex-wife Amber Heard. Most recently, he filed a $50 million libel suit against her, and she responded with a $100 million counterclaim, accusing him of a false smear campaign. However, you still have cash. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Depp has a current net worth of $200 million. Number 5. Willie Nelson. In 1990, the IRS seized Willie Nelson's assets and property in 6 states to help pay the $32 million country music superstar owed back taxes. Nelson blamed the mismanagement of poorly managed earnings and the poor advice of his accountants, but even after his assets were seized, his debts still amounted to $16.7 million, including $10.2 million in interest and penalties. Nelson and the IRS paid off the $9 million debt in 1993. More than $3 million had already been paid, and recorded the album The IRS Tapes, Who'll Buy My Memories, to help pay the remainder. The IRS only raised $3.6 million from album sales, but Nelson was able to pay off the remaining balance in just a few years, according to Forbes. Now completely out of the red, Nelson's net worth is $25 million. Number 4. Meat Loaf. Born as Marvin Lee Day, Meat Loaf hit the music scene in 1977 with his mega-popular album Bat Out of Hell. Unfortunately, financial troubles soon followed, as disputes with his record company led to a series of legal battles. The rocker told the Daily Mail's event that he had $100 million in lawsuits against him at one point, forcing him to file for bankruptcy in the 1980s. Released in 1993, his comeback album, Bat Out of Hell 2 Back Into Hell, with the top hit I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't, was multi-platinum. He was also successful in acting, appearing in films such as Fight Club and Wayne's World. These days, Meat Loaf is back on top with a net worth of $40 million. Number 3. Mike Tyson. Tyson struggled with personal and legal problems starting in the late 1980s. While going through a divorce, Tyson became increasingly out of shape and began to lose his superstar image. Not long after, he was convicted of rape and served 3 years in federal prison with a 10-year sentence. The boxer appeared to be making a comeback after returning to the sport, but then sadly bit part of opponent Evander Holyfield's ear during a 1997 match. 5 years later, Tyson filed for bankruptcy and announced his retirement shortly thereafter in 2005. Number 2. Courtney Love. When Courtney Love's husband, Nirvana's Kurt Cobain, died suddenly, she found herself inheriting an incredible amount of money. Courtney received what she calls $27 million in Nirvana money. Believe it or not, Courtney expended that Nirvana money, wasting it on drugs and her rock and roll lifestyle, making her lose everything. Over the years, he has struggled with money as it solved a myriad of legal problems and lawsuits. He claims that he now earns enough money to live comfortably. Number 1. Pamela Anderson. Despite a lifestyle that included luxurious homes, expensive celebrations, and various plastic medical procedures, Pamela Anderson was trying to figure out how to keep her bills up to date until the appraiser called. Anderson earned $35 million and was one of Hollywood's greatest female treasures. Either way, due to the failure of all her well-deserved fortunes, this American celebrity ended up living in a trailer park, making her one of the abandoned celebrities. This is all from today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching.